Hello YouTube, it's William. Welcome to another Whittle Talk. I get a ton of questions about sharpening implements and what grains do you use, what uh, um, grits do you use, and I think sometimes we overcomplicate things. Okay, to me, sharpening is not that sharpening a blade is not science. It's not. I don't get into the weeds of it. Okay, to me, sharpening is as simple as maintaining the same angle on the knife on either side. Okay, if you're going to use this angle on this side, and basically what I do is, and I've showed this in sharpening videos before, this is 90 degrees, it's 90 degrees, okay, half that is 45, half of that is 22 and a half, so that's about the angle that I try to maintain, and I watch this edge, the leading edge of a blade. I watch it and maintain that same angle. I don't care about the back. I don't care what the back's doing. It's this edge that I'm worried about. I'll make sure that that edge is maintained the same angle at all times against the stone. Okay? Sometimes you have to pick up the heel or the pommel of the knife to maintain that same edge. Okay? Maintaining the same amount of strokes, the same angle, the same pressure is the total key to sharpening. Now whether you use circular motions, you pull it to you, or you push it away, or you slice off tops, however you do it, what works best for you doesn't matter. As long as you maintain that same angle, same pressure, and the same amount of strokes on either side. That is the total key to sharpening. Okay? Now, let's get into grits. I don't know what grits they are. I like the blue DMT, which I think is a medium. Black, I think they got their charts that show you what it is. But black, I think, is their coarse, or maybe their extra coarse, and this is the coarse. I don't know. But I like the blue. That to me puts a good edge on the knife. And all I do is I take a piece of clean leather, no buffing compounds. I don't use the polished side or the fur side. I use the flesh side, and I just clean the edge. That's all I'm doing, is I'm getting the particles out of the edge, just a few strokes, and then it's done. The blade is done. Okay, back to what I use. Sometimes I'll have a little DC3, Falcon-Even DC3 in my pocket. I use the diamond side. I don't ever use the ceramic side, but I'll use the diamond side every once in a while if I get a burr on a blade and when I'm cutting something I shouldn't be cutting. Then I'll touch it up with that. For my cookeries and my crooked knives and things like that, I like the Easy Lap. I've got the other one, I forget what it's called, but it's the one that telescopes in and out. But I prefer the Easy Lap. I think that one has a better diamond coating and just gives me a cleaner edge than the other one. Ceramic rods, they're good. I like those to put a micro edge on Scandi blades and also on the crooked knives. They're really good to put a micro edge on there that strengthens the edge a little bit, makes them sharper because they cut better. Now what grain they are, I have no idea. Somebody asked me that here a few weeks ago. Didn't even know that there was different grains of ceramic rods. That shows you what I know about them. I just got some ceramic rods off of eBay a few years ago, and I still got a bunch of them. Or I say a bunch of them, I got 3 or 4 of them left. They never wear out. So when I got them, I took some sandpaper, some 180 grit, and I just polished them up a little bit. Removed the rough surface off of them. the actual grains in the ceramic rod puts the right toothy edge on a blade to make it cut well. So I use that. But probably 90% of the time, the only thing that I use is these little mini sharpening steels. Now you can use these on Scandies if you want. But I use sabers and full flats 99% of the time. I hardly ever use a Scandi blade, but I use these little mini sharpening steels, and you can get them on eBay or Amazon. They're called mini sharpening steels, M-I-N-I sharpening steels. Victorinox has some great ones. This one's a Victorinox. Opinol has some great ones, but those are the only two brands that I would recommend. If they have the sharpening steel with a brass handle, run from it. They're cheap knockoffs that the steel is so soft that the blade actually cuts the steel. So your knife blade is harder than the sharpening steel. Okay, but Opinol or Victorinox is some great little mini sharpening steels. And that's what I use most of the time. And I just touch the blade up a few licks, and somebody was saying, well, how do you use it? Well, I just use it just like a butcher steel. Okay, and it maintains the edge perfectly. Get a piece of paper here. I don't have any paper. Okay, but when you see somebody do that, all that means is it cuts paper. That doesn't mean that it's going to cut what you want it to cut. It doesn't mean it cuts leather. It doesn't mean it cuts tomatoes. It doesn't mean it cuts onions. It means it cuts paper. If you see somebody do tissue paper that way, it means it cuts tissue paper. If you see somebody shave hair off their arm, it means it shaves hair off their arm. It doesn't mean it's going to cut what you want it to cut, because cutting power comes from a lot of different things besides a sharp edge. Okay, it comes from the geometry of the blade. It comes from the actual shape of the blade. It comes from the steel of the blade. It comes from a lot of different things besides just the very edge that cuts. There's a difference between cutting and slicing, and you can go back through my videos and see all that. Okay, so back to sharpening. It's the main thing that you have to do is you have to get you some knives, some cheap knives. Get you some old hickory knives. They're decent knives, but you're not spending an arm and a leg on them. Get you some stones, some decent stones, whatever they may be, something that has a flat surface. If you're going to use bench stones, or excuse me, if you're going to use these rods, which is fine, just get you a decent set of sharpening tools. Okay, get in a room somewhere by yourself and practice. Your hand motion, your makeup and everything else is going to be different than mine. Okay, the key is you have to practice. That's the key. And once you get it, it's memorized. You'll have it forever. Okay, it's like riding a bicycle. But until you learn how to do that, then it's going to take practice. I remember the first time that I ever got a knife that would shave. It was an old timer. It was the one that has the little Derlin handle. A lock back is a folding hunter. Single blade. Carbon steel. This was back when I was probably 12, 13 years old. I've had knives all my life. As soon as I could walk, I had a knife. First knife I ever had was an old Barlow, and I cried to get it. I was just walking good. I've been told this story. I don't remember it, but so finally my dad gave it to me, and Mom was so worried about me stabbing myself to death. Now, it was probably a little old Barlow. Probably nobody's gonna kill myself, but she complained about it, so Dad broke the blade off of it, and I wouldn't have anything to do with it after he broke the blade off of it. But anyway, beside the point. The first time I ever got a knife to shave, then I mean, I thought that I had conquered the world. I thought that I had achieved my ultimate life's ambition. You know, it was that rewarding. But once I achieved that, then it was just second nature. It was just honing your craft, if you will, pun intended. Honing your craft to where you could take just about anything. I mean, there's a guy that's associated with Brian Manning and the Pathfinder bunch. I can't remember his name, but he can take cinder blocks and sharpen a blade. I mean, you can take just about anything to sharpen a knife blade. Now, you may have to change the grinds on it and things like that, but you can still get an edge that will cut. So it just takes practice, as with anything else. I mean, we can watch as many videos as we want. We can learn as many techniques as we want from everybody, and we can find out what everybody else is using. But at the end of the day, it's going to take you getting into a room with some quality sharpening implements and some decent knives and learn how to sharpen. Just practice. So if you do, take plenty of band-aids. You're going to need a lot of knives and a lot of patience. Don't give up. Keep at it, and eventually you'll get a knife that has the edge that you like best. And you're going to have to go through some different situations and different uses of knives to figure out what works best for you. Maybe you prefer the polished edge over the rough edge like I do. But hey, if that works best for you, then that's what you should use. So until the next one, you guys be safe, and we'll talk to you again soon.